All right, so these are going to be your verb notes. And like your noun notes that we started last week, your verb notes, it's going to take us all school year to get through all of these, or even close to all of these. So this is a very important paper, like your noun notes. You need to keep it, treasure it, take very good care of it, because you don't want to have to write these again. All right. So just like our nouns had specific qualities that they were always going to have, verbs are going to have some same things like that. Okay, something that every verb will have. Okay, and so first thing that your verbs are going to have are voice. Okay, and so what that means is active or passive. Okay. So right now, we're not going to be too concerned with voice. We will get into voice pretty quickly though, okay? Tense, we're going to have 6 of them, okay? And so our 6 tenses are going to be present, imperfect, future. We're going to have, and I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to kind of triple up here. We're going to have perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect. Okay. Our verbs are all going to have person, and what that means is it's not a specific person. Well, it sort of is a specific person, but we're not talking about like Sean Connery or the Queen of England, okay? We're talking about really more pronouns. And sometimes we will have nouns that do sub in for the pronouns, okay? So person is going to be like first, second, or third. Okay? Now, number. Again, just like this is one thing that when I say number for nouns or for verbs, it's really talking about singular or plural. Okay? Now, we're going to have verb families, okay? Kind of similar to our noun families, only these are going to be called conjugations, okay? And like our nouns, okay? It's not that they're all, that the stem is more going to be the same than anything else, okay? Because all of the verbs in this box here, okay, all the verbs in this box, the endings that we learn this school year are going to be used for all of these family of verbs, okay? The conjugation tells you how you're going to get your stem and some other things, okay? So we're going to talk about the present system, okay? And the present system is called that because you use the same stem for these tenses. Okay, so we're going to be learning about the present system first. Later on in the school year, pretty late in the school year, we're going to talk about the perfect system. Okay, now our 3 tenses of the present system are present, imperfect, and future. Okay, so these 3 tenses will be formed kind of in the same way. All right. So in the present system, okay, in the present system, you are either going to use the first or second principal part to form the stem, and that depends on the verb's conjugation. Okay. Something that we'll delve a little deeper into later this week is this idea of PP equal principal parts. Okay, And something you might want to know is that most verbs have 4 principal parts. Okay? Notice real quick, I said most. Not all, but most. Okay? So right now we are really only going to be dealing with verbs that are first and second conjugation in nature. Okay? And we're going to use the second principal part. Okay? When we get to third, IO, and fourth, we'll talk about that then. So for a minute, let's scroll back up, okay? So I'm going to scroll back up, and I want to specifically highlight the the conjugations we're going to be learning about today. We're going to be learning about first and second, okay? Now, a first conjugation verb will end in O in the first principal part and ARE in the second principal part. So our example is going to be paro, parare. Okay? Now, you have to look at a verb's 2 first principal parts in order to judge what conjugation it belongs to. Okay? For right now, it's going to be pretty easy because first and second conjugation are pretty easy to tell apart. So that's nice for us. Okay? A second conjugation verb in the first principal part are going to end in EO, and then in the second principal part will end in a macron, ERE. Okay? So, like our verb teneo, tenere. Okay? Paro means to prepare. Teneo means to hold. Okay? Alright, so we're going back to the second page, and we're going to start right here at personal verb endings for the active voice. Okay? And we are dealing with the active voice today, and again, I told you that later on we'll talk a little more about what that means. This is also the present tense. Okay, that's what we're going to be dealing with, active present. All right, so real quick, in this chart right here, okay, these are our endings, okay? For first singular, you're going to have O or M. For second singular, you're going to have S. For third singular, you're going to have T. For first plural, we'll have mus. Second plural is going to be tis, and third plural is going to be und. Okay? Now, one more thing. These vowels that are in parentheses, okay? We're not going to use them at this time, okay? We don't need them because our first and second conjugation verbs, once we get our stem, it will end in a vowel. That will help us. So we don't need the vowel that's in parentheses. Real quick also, additionally, right now, we're not going to be using that M ending. That's going to come later as well, okay? So really what we're concerned about is O, S, T, mus, tis, und, okay? Now, I talked about person a little while ago, and so we need to talk about which pronouns are used with which person and number, okay? And so first singular, the pronoun is always going to be I, okay? Because I am first, all right? Second singular is going to be you. Third singular is going to be he, she, or it. Now, you're not always going to sit there and put he, she, or it. Sometimes you're already going to know which gender your person is that you're talking about, okay? So sometimes you'll use he specifically, or sometimes you'll use she specifically, okay? For first plural, our pronoun is going to be we, okay? Now, second plural. Okay. Second plural, I'm from Texas. I am not ashamed at all. Okay. I like to use y'all. Okay. However, not everyone is comfortable with using that. Okay. So if you don't want to use y'all, you should say you plural. Okay. Because you singular is just when your mom is yelling at you, and you plural is when your mom is yelling at you and your siblings. Okay. So third plural is going to be they. All right. So again, O or M is I, S is you, T is he, she, or it, mus is we, tis is y'all, or you plural, and unt is they. Okay? Now, for the present tense, we have three possible ways we can translate this. Okay? We can say read or reads. Okay? As in, I read, you read, etc. Okay? We can say is, am, or are reading. So, for example, I am reading, you are reading. I'm running out of room, so I'll just scooch down. Okay? You can also say, and this is considered the emphatic, do or does read. Okay? I do read. You do read. Okay? So, those are the ways that we can translate the present tense. All right? The present active. So now we need to form all those 6 forms from up here using these endings. Okay? First things first, something that is always very nice. The first singular form is always that first principal part. Okay? So let's write that down over here. First principal part equals first singular present active. Okay? So I'm going to put that right here, paro. Okay? Now I need to translate it. Okay? So remember, this is first singular, so I'm going to use this I pronoun right here. Okay? So I'm going to say I. Now, we can take the easy way out and just use the simple way. Okay? So we can say I prepare. But you could also say I am preparing or I do prepare. Okay, I wouldn't put all 3 of them in the box. And in fact, as we go through this example, I'm going to use the simplified translation for the present. Okay, so now, in order to form the rest of these, I told you that we were going to have a stem that ended in a vowel. Okay, now we've already used paro, so we're not going to use that again. But we are going to go to parare, our second principal part right here. Okay, and we are going to drop re. Okay, so that means that para right here is going to be my stem. So what I'm going to do, so that I don't mess this up, I'm going to put para in all my spots. Okay, we are not going to put the macron in the third singular or the third plural over that final A, all right? I don't know why. They just didn't do it. And I'm not as old as you people think I am, which means I'm not 11,000 years old, okay? So we've got macrons over our A's for second singular, first plural, and second plural, okay? So now what we're going to do, okay, and I'm going to kind of change colors for the endings so that you see what's happening a little better maybe. So now we're going to take those circled endings from above, okay, right up in here, and we're going to add them down here, okay. So for para in second singular, I'm going to add S. Okay, so I have paras. And so this means you prepare. Okay. For third singular, I'm going to add parat. I'm going to have T. And so now I'm going to say he, she, or it prepares. Okay. For first plural, I'm going to add mus. So I'm going to have peramus. And this is going to be we prepare. Okay. Second plural, we're adding that tis. So we have peratis. And this is going to be y'all prepare. Okay. And then last, we're going to take para, and we're going to add nt for third plural, and this is going to be they prepare. Okay? All right, so what we just did was called conjugate and translate. Okay? That's what we just did. All right, so we're going to go to our second conjugation example here. We're going to go to teneo. I'm going to make that one a little bigger. Okay, so remember, for first singular, that is always our first principal part. So I'm going to take teneo, and I'm going to move it right here. So I have teneo. Okay, and we know that that means to hold, and so we need to pair it with I, and this time I'm going to go with is, am, or are. Okay, so for my translation of teneo, I'm going to say I am holding. Okay, now for the rest of our forms, we're going to do like we did with paro. We're going to go to tenere. We're going to go to that second principal part, and we are dropping the re. Okay, so that means that tene is my stem. And again, for third singular and third plural, we're not going to add the macron on the last E. Okay. All right, so now we're going to change colors. There we go. And so we're going to go back and add, I'm going to scroll real quick to show you, we're going to add these endings again. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to add onto tene, I'm going to add S for second singular. And so this is going to be you are holding. Okay. Third singular is going to be tenet. And so this is going to be he, she, or it is, oops, wrong letter, is holding. Okay. For first plural, we're going to add mus for tenemos, and this is going to be we are holding. Okay. For second plural, we're going to add tis for tenetis, and this is going to be y'all are holding. Third plural is going to add nt for tenent, and so this is they are holding. Okay, now rewatch this if you need to. If you have questions, shoot me an email. Here is my email address. There we go. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.